Have you ever felt like you missed out on something? Like, if you had made a different choice, things would be so different now.
Oh, absolutely. Those what if moments, right?
Yeah, exactly. And this poem we're looking at today, Opportunity, kind of dives into that whole idea of missed chances and making the most of the moment.
It's a powerful theme for sure.
It really is. And it was written by this guy, John James Ingalls. He was a U.S. senator back in the late 1800s. One of those really powerful speakers.
Oh, wow, a senator. So this wasn't just some poet in an ivory tower.
No, not at all. He was right in the thick of things. And I think that's what makes this poem so interesting, is that we're getting a glimpse into the mind of someone who really understood ambition and success.
That's fascinating. I'm really curious to hear what he has to say.
Well, then let's jump right in. We're going to take a deep dive into Opportunity, stanza by stanza. And hopefully by the end, we'll all have a better understanding of how this poem, written over a century ago, can still speak to us today.
Sounds good to me.
All right, so the first stanza, it starts off strong, I gotta say, and it doesn't pull any punches. Ingalls writes, "Master of human destinies am I. Fame, love, and fortune on my footsteps wait. Cities and fields I walk. I penetrate deserts and seas remote, and passing by hovel and mart and palace, soon or late I knock unbidden once at every gate."
Whoa, okay. That is a powerful opening. He's not messing around.
Right, it's like, boom, opportunity is this force to be reckoned with.
And it's everywhere, too. Cities, fields, deserts, seas. He's really painting a picture of opportunity as this universal force.
Totally. And notice how he personifies opportunity, making it this almost godlike figure. He controls everything, fame, love, fortune, it's all there.
And that line about knocking unbidden once at every gate, that really struck me. It's like this reminder that opportunity can come knocking when you least expect it.
It really is. And it makes you think, are you even paying attention? Are you ready for when it shows up?
Exactly. You have to be ready to answer that door, so to speak.
And that leads us perfectly into the next few lines, because Ingalls doesn't let up on the urgency. He says, "If sleeping, wake. If feasting, rise before I turn away. It is the hour of fate." Like, there's no time to waste.
It's now or never, right?
Right. But then, the second stanza, it kind of takes a bit of a darker turn. It lays out the consequences of missing out on opportunity. And honestly, it gets pretty intense, he writes. "And they who follow me reach every state mortals desire and conquer every foe save death. But those who hesitate, condemned to failure, penury, and woe, seek me in vain and uselessly implore. I answer not, and I return no more."
Wow, there's no sugarcoating there, is there?
No, not at all. It's like miss your chance and you're doomed.
He's really laying out the stakes. On one hand, you have success, achievement, conquering your fears.
And on the other hand, failure, poverty, regret. It's almost brutal.
I mean, do you think he's being a little too extreme? Like, obviously, seizing opportunity is important, but does it always have to be this all or nothing scenario?
That's a great question. And, it's interesting to think about Ingalls' background here. He was a senator, a man of action, living in a time of huge change and growth in America. Maybe, for him, that bold, decisive attitude was really crucial for success.
Yeah, that makes sense. It was probably a sink or swim kind of world back then.
Exactly. But you're right. It doesn't mean we should just blindly jump at every single opportunity that comes our way. Sometimes a little bit of caution and consideration is important too, right?
Definitely. I think it's about finding that balance, recognizing the opportunity, but also making sure it aligns with your goals and values.
Absolutely. So how do we, as everyday people, not senators or anything, apply this poem to our own lives? Because even though it was written so long ago, it still feels really relevant, don't you think?
Oh, for sure. I think it speaks to something universal about human nature, that desire for success and fulfillment and that fear of missing out.
Yeah, exactly. It's like whether it's a career change, a new relationship, even just deciding to finally learn that new skill you've been putting off, there are opportunities all around us all the time.
And I think what Ingalls is trying to tell us is to be aware of those opportunities, to be present in our lives, and to have the courage to take action.
So it's not necessarily about making the perfect decision every time. It's about being decisive and making a choice, even if it feels a little scary.
Exactly. And sometimes, it's about learning from the opportunities we missed. I remember this one time I was offered a job that would have been a huge step up in my career, but it would have meant moving to a new city, starting over, and I just wasn't sure I was ready for that kind of change.
Oh, wow. So what did you do?
Well, I ended up turning it down, and honestly, at the time, I felt a huge sense of relief. But looking back, I can't help but wonder what might have happened if I had taken that chance.
Those what ifs again.
Yeah, exactly. I don't regret the decision I made, but it definitely made me more aware of how quickly opportunities can come and go.
And how important it is to be ready to seize them when they do appear.
Absolutely.
So maybe what Ingalls is trying to tell us in his own dramatic way is to wake up, to open our eyes to the possibilities that are all around us.
And to have the courage to step through those open doors, even if we don't know exactly what's on the other side.
Because ultimately, I think that's where the real adventure lies, right? In the unknown.
I think so. And that's what makes this poem so thought-provoking, even today. It doesn't give us all the answers, but it definitely challenges us to think about how we're approaching our own lives.
And to ask ourselves, what opportunities are we missing out on? And are we ready to take action when the next one comes knocking at our door?
That's the question we all have to answer for ourselves.